You are probably wondering where we are, aren't you? Unfortunately, there is not enough time for me to explain it to you now. Once you are able to strike down Ganon with the item you obtain in this castle, all will be made clear to you. Trust in my words. See what awaits you in the castle. Welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD. Last time, we finished up the Tower of the Gods and got seen as a true hero by the gods. This time, let's move on. But before we actually do move on, I do want to show off this outside area because many people do ignore it, and there's a lot going on here which gives you a bit of storytelling through context clues. First of all, under the sea, there is an entire world. That was pretty obvious given the cutscene. And more importantly, the water is stopped. All is frozen in time. We're in a world like no other. And the water was just showing you what was to come. Everything is frozen. Time itself in this area, except for us, is frozen. Alright, Link. I need you to listen to me for a second. The item you seek is hidden somewhere in this castle. To find it, you must find the entrance to the basement. But that entrance has been blocked by a mighty threshold, firmly sealed to prevent evil from ever gaining access. Do you know where to search and what you must do to open the hidden way? You will find a clue in the shape of the heraldry. That's a word. Near where we arrived at the castle. I know what to do. It's pretty obvious, but I do want to explore the castle a little bit more. Not all of it. We will get a chance to see more of it later, but I do want to check outside this door. Because we have an entire area to explore. Psych. There is a magical wall, which is probably one of the most infamous invisible walls in gaming. And it's not even all that invisible. Speedrunning for this game has been hindered by this wall forever. There's very important stuff that will help you in the game. Let's just word it like that for now. Past this wall. And in the speedrunning community, this would save so much time if you could skip past this wall. So when the skip for this wall was finally found, and the ability to skip past it was finally found, and there was a consistent way to do it, speedrunning for this game changed greatly. It's really cool. And the reason it was so hard to get past this wall is because there's a hurt box, there is an actual invisible wall that raises to, I think the high, I don't know. I think it raises infinitely. Can't get past it. So you need to get back, you need to, I forget exactly how it works, but you need to get past this hurt box, you need to get past the invisible wall, and then there's some more stuff behind it. It's just a very complex way of gating off the player. Considering what's behind it, makes sense, but it made speedrunning this game really interesting, and anybody that could find the skip would go down in the history of Wind Waker speedrunning. It's just a really cool, neat little detail, and it seems like such a minor thing when you first see it, but that wall, it's tough. Anyhow, when I said it's obvious what we have to do, it's pretty obvious. Zelda is known for its block-pushing puzzles. We have some weirdly shaped blocks here, but blocks nonetheless, and we have a Triforce. What are we meant to do? Push these blocks to the Triforce. More triangles than anything, but I'm going to count them as blocks, so whatever. This is a little bit more interesting than other block-pushing puzzles simply because the way these work is a little bit different from the way other blocks work. You have to think about which way you are going to be pushing the blocks when you end up moving them around. It's actually quite simple stuff, but it's enough to make the puzzle feel different and interesting, I feel. And I don't think there's anything super like this, to my knowledge, in a lot of other Zelda games, so I'll take it. Kinda neat. So, I'm probably not doing this in the most efficient way possible, but it's a relatively easy puzzle. Just push things around. I believe I need to go over here, pull it this way, not sidle. I don't know why I'm having so many issues with sidling right now, but hey, whatever. Going here, pushing this twice. There we go, we got that. And now all we have to do is deal with this one. While I'm pushing this around, let's notice something. What was keeping Ganon away from the thing that would slay him? A block pushing puzzle. And with that, the way has opened. Also, let's talk about this statue. It is really, really cool. It's a design for the hero of time, Ocarina of Time Link, except in a toon style. And that's just really sick. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll keep it. I did save that, right? I think I did. I think I only had 3 pictures before. I'm going to assume I saved it. If not, I can come back and retake that picture at any time. Didn't take that much time. Wasn't too hard. Excellent, Link. To perceive such a puzzle and decipher it is no small feat. Alright, forehead. Now, take that sword that lies before you. It is none other than the Master Sword, the blade of evil's bane. It is the only sword that can banish Ganon from the world above. You got the Master Sword, the legendary blade with the power to repel evil, once wielded by the legendary hero himself. Before we head up, check out this beauty. Look at this. It looks so cool. It's bigger than our older sword. I think I've said this before. Visual changes are my bread and butter. I love them so much. So seeing the Master Sword on this guy's back, oh, beautiful. I love how big it looks. I love the cartoony version of it. It just looks fantastic in every way, shape, and form. Before we head out, let's check out this room. I saved this for a minute because I knew the room would gain color again. So I wanted to show these in their full glory. There are some stained glass paintings. Not only have these sparked a lot of art surrounding Wind Waker, where there are just stained glass pieces of Link and Zelda, and I love those so much. I really want to get one of those as a poster to put on my wall, but it's a talk for another day. There are also some more interesting ones. I want to hop off so I can check them out. Oh, I can stand on this. Interesting. Well, this gives me a good look at this one. It's a Gerudo. It's Impa. A Goron. Ganondorf. More like Ganon, though, because he is in the pig form. It's a Kokiri. And it's Rauru. A Zora. And another Triforce. For those of you who have not played Ocarina of Time, these are all of the sages. Rudo, Rauru, Saria, Ganon. No. There's some miscellaneous ones in here, but there are the sages. Darunia, there's Impa, and then there's... her. That one. I always forget her name. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I always finish my Ocarina of Time playthroughs at the Shadow Temple. So I forget her name a lot, so. My apologies. She's cool, though. The gates are closed, and we have a bunch of enemies to fight. I talked about the fact that in the dungeon, we were getting used to Dark Nuts, and they were easy. They were really easy. They're, comparatively to other iterations of them, they were a bit of a joke. However, they get difficult when you have to worry about multiple of them at once, or multiple difficult enemies at once. This is what I'm talking about. The Master Sword has more attack power than our old measly sword. It's much more powerful. Yikes. But even that won't help you that much. This is kind of a way to show you that, yes, you have more power, but also, things are going to get much more difficult from here on out. This power won't help you if you don't use it wisely. It also has a bigger spin attack. It's just better all around. It's as the Master Sword is in most games. Dark Nuts are really cool. If they lose their sword, they actually do resort to kicking you. Martial arts, it's really awesome. I like that take on them a lot. Just cool stuff. More Knight's Crest, stuff like that. Let's see. I'm going to ignore the entire premise of this area, which is showing you how powerful the Master Sword is, and instead, get hit. Okay, maybe I won't use that one. Never mind. Goodbye. So I think a really good way of dealing with these guys is, spin attacks. There's a lot of enemies. Spin attacks are just, in general, very useful. This attacks quickly, and whoa, it does a spin as well. That can be quite useful in this scenario. I'm just going to toss this over at him. Perish. I do kind of want to get rid of the Moblins. They're fast, and they're annoying to deal with when you have slower enemies like Dark Nut. They also do that. Just straight up pimp slaps. It sucks a lot. Jesus! Oh my god, he keeps... Leave me alone. Hold on. I'm gonna handle him in a very cowardly way, shooting him behind his back. Awesome. But, they are really annoying to deal with, especially when you're dealing with Dark Nuts. Dark Nuts do a lot of damage, and, I think Moblins might do a similar amount. But Dark Nuts are very easy to deal with, when they are on their own. Simply because of the fact that you have... they're slower enemies when they have their armor on. So it makes dealing with them a little bit easier. They're easier to predict. Whenever they attack, you'll have the A prompt, unlike Moblins, which can just get very, very crazy, and you have no indication of it. They can do those slaps that do a lot of damage and send you flying without any indication. I would just say that the Moblins are the biggest threat here simply because, paired with a Dark Nut, they are difficult. They have easy patterns to follow, but they make you ignore other enemies that have maybe a little bit more difficult patterns to follow. I'm going to back out of the way because I really don't want him to attack me. Again, the Dark Nut's super easy to fight on their own when they are in larger groups. You do have to actually think. Oh, woe is me! I have to think about what I'm doing instead of just spamming the B button. That's not the Zelda combat I know and love. Dark Nuts can also go and pick up other weaponry. It's a really cool system. This is one of the few Zelda games that did that, and I feel that's just so cool. Before Breath of the Wild took it to the extreme, the logical extreme, this was just a really good way of handling it. I love it so much. Really cool stuff. There's a few more. We haven't explored this area entirely. We've just kind of been going around. I didn't mean to pick those up. I just want to roll. There are these little corridors we haven't explored. There's areas upstairs we haven't explored. We'll get to those in a second. Thank you. There we go. I'm sure there's ways to deal with these guys without having to wait, but just waiting for them is, I think, the factually easiest way to deal with them. Oh. I see you've survived. You and your other brethren have perished at my hand. Did you still persevere? What a mistake. Oh, there's more of them. Never mind, he wasn't special. The guy I was making fun of, just a waste of space, gonna be honest. Alright, you are going to try to attack. Okay, yeah. Little hit. Thanks, man. Wind up again, I dare you. Oh, they're actually more dangerous without their weapon. It's kind of funny. They're just so quick on their feet without their weapon. So I don't know. I find them to be a little bit more difficult to deal with, but hey. God, having the Master Sword is so great. Things take no hit, or take a few hits and then they're just gone. Perished. Talking about storytelling without really storytelling. I love this show don't tell mentality here, where for those who have played this game series before, it's pretty obvious where we are. This is Hyrule Castle. This is Ocarina of Time. Hyrule Castle. This is connected to that in some way. And instead of just knowing that Hyrule has fallen in some capacity, having all these enemies here frozen in time shows exactly how Hyrule fell. And I love that idea so much. Not only does it give you, again, it's a show don't tell mentality where they give you storytelling without actually outright saying anything. It also makes you feel so powerful. Because, you know, there were probably more things attacking Hyrule all at once. Ganondorf was a very real threat. He was probably attacking at the same time as well. There's all of these other factors. But from a surface level, we have just pushed back all of the forces that made Hyrule fall. Again, very surface level, not necessarily entirely true, but it does do a good job of making the player feel so much more powerful with this new weapon by their side. So it not only shows the literal power you have, all these enemies that used to take a long time to kill are now dropping like flies, but also you as a real warrior have grown. That's just sick. Oh, King of Red Lions. Let's get out of here. Actually, you know what? No, I don't do this enough. What do you have to say? At long last, our preparations are complete. You must return to me so that we can return by the same path that brought us here. The time has come to save your sister from her prison in the Forsaken Fortress. Hurry, Link. Let's go. With the Master Sword by our side, we have a mission to do. But before we end off this episode, I do want to go back into the Tower of the Gods and collect a few treasure chests that I missed along the way. I talked about some really obvious eyeballs that I said remember for later, and then I didn't remember them for later. So I went back to go and get those. But the reason I didn't show this footage until now was because I wanted to avoid a spoiler. That spoiler being the Master Sword. Yeah, I know it's really, really stupid to want to not show that the Master Sword is in the Zelda game, but I just felt like it was a small thing I wanted to avoid showing off until we actually got it, and it was literally one episode away from exiting the temple, so I didn't think it was a big enough deal for me to warrant giving even the most minor of spoilers. But yeah, it was the Master Sword. I'm picky about these types of things. But anyway, with that footage showed off, next time on Let's Play The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD, we have the Blade of Evil's Bane. We could go show Ganon what's what, but I'm not going to. Next time, I am going to go around the world and see what I can do with my newfound bow and arrow. But again, that's for next time. Until then.